We're back. Guess
As
who's back?
always.
Guess who's back? The Ethers is back. David Banks and Clear the Chloe back. Eight, break it down. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Mother Effing Ethers podcast.
Oh yeah.
If you haven't been here before, my name is Chloe, aka Clearly Chloe. This is my lovely co-host over here, Mr. David Banks.
Well, hello, love. Hello, love.
Hello. Watching too much Love Island really got to me in terms of my British accent. But yeah, I'm very happy to be here. Very happy to record. We just recorded last week. We're so ahead of the game. You guys aren't even gonna probably be seeing this until like what, babe? Like May, mid-May?
Yeah, mid-May. Yeah, we're super caught up, but we love y'all so much. We just rolling them in.
Yeah, we do. We have so much inspo, so many things to discuss, so many things to talk about. Usually we've been doing some tarot reading, astrology videos. Of course, you know, our celestial check-in is going to come in towards the end where I do a little tarot talk. Baby over here doing astrology, okay? Got to sip all the tea. But this week episode is I have to write it down, guys, because forgive me, brain of a goldfish over here. Good
It's
vibes,
all
bad
good.
patterns. Okay. This is about energy split. This is about positive and negative energy. And we basically kind of decided let's go through like 5 general topics and give the negative aspects and the positive aspects. He is going to cover the negative, and I'm going to kind of cover the positive, and we're going to go one by one. Boo, I know, but I feel like you'll do such a better job at calling all these people out than I will. I'll be probably too nice. So I feel like this is fitting in the way that we're probably going to dive into this a little bit. So I'm excited. If there's anything you need to add, babe, go right ahead. Otherwise, I will hop into the first topic.
First off, if my voice seems a little nasally, I just got over a cold the last few days, so I must apologize in advance. And how you doing though? I gotta ask.
Good. I'm good. You were sick as a dog. I like barely have spoken to you in the last few days. I'm so used to at least chit chat on the phone, talking strategy, and you're like, I can't. And I'm like, oh my God, go to sleep.
Yeah, like the coughs hurt. Like I haven't gotten sick in so long, and like when I get sick, I get sick. Like I hate getting sick.
Like
Like
bedridden. Gotta make you some soup or something. I'm so helpless over here. I can't do anything for you. I would have been at the CVS getting you things you needed.
yeah,
Crazy
just
work.
give me some lemons, some ginger, some kombucha. That's what really healed me back. Like
Yeah.
yesterday, I was like, oh goodness gracious. And then I took all of that. I was like, oh yeah, I'm good. So
Literally, you went from like barely being able to speak the night before, and then I like asked how you were doing yesterday morning. You're like, I'm great. And I was like, yes, like thank goodness, because it meant that we could record today.
yeah, I was kind of nervous because I was still sneezing and things. So we good now. But yeah, whenever you're ready, let's get
Yes,
it.
feeling good, looking good. First up is emotions. So kind of the general gist of, I guess we could talk about emotions as a whole and then go into positive, negative, but I guess I kind of want to just know what are the negative aspects about emotion, what are the negative feelings that are associated with like your emotional well-being. Just give me your hot take, really. I guess we'll take it from there.
Um, with just emotion, there's many different spectrums with it. Um, I usually put them in 3 categories, negative and positive, of course, but there's neutrality too.
Fact.
You know, you can feel neutral about something like I can't deny or confirm, you know,
Yeah,
these
a little
feelings or
shrug
whatever,
energy, like, I don't know.
whatever. But the negative side of emotions is how you project the energies in general, like whether you're intaking or outtaking, but negatively, it can be really bad for you because your outlook on the negativity could be bad, and how you're absorbing it could be
Yeah.
bad too. Because you could be a positive person, but if it's the negative energy you're absorbing, you can become negative, especially with your
Mhm.
environment. So, having negative energy is no bueno. But sometimes it's not a bad thing per se to be negative because what if you need to look at something bad in a bad way, like patterns and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like you could be like, oh well, I'm working too hard, or maybe like you have a different eating habit, like you know what I'm saying. Like sometimes routine could be a negative thing, or even feeling negative or not feeling negative. Sorry, the feeling of being negative,
Mm.
a positive thing as well. It just depends on the situation. But negative emotions altogether, nah, it's very icky.
What are the like what would you perceive as a negative emotion? Like what emotions to you are negative in energy?
Oh, envy for sure.
Mm.
Uh,
Had
that's,
green today, which is funny.
huh?
We're rocking green today, which is very envy.
Yeah, facts. Being envious is very negative. It doesn't even matter how you try to paint it. You could be like envious in a way where it's like, oh, I like competition. You don't have to be envious to feel competitive. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That's very negative to me.
Yeah. I think that like envy, jealousy, kind of like feeling overwhelmed or stressed, those are negative emotions, right?
Mhm.
Feeling stuck, confused, sad, anxious, like
Isolated.
the
Yeah,
list goes on. But I think you're right. I think that sometimes recognizing your negative emotions helps give you clarity to be able to recognize patterns, which I guess in turn is positive, right? Because if you're experiencing the range of emotions, my positive aspect about emotions is you're alive, you're living. If you're feeling
yeah,
feelings, you're alive,
yeah,
you're here, you out
yeah.
here. At least you know that you're not numb, right? To like the way,
Right.
sorry guys, I just knocked my whole camera, don't mind me. But you're able to heal those things, right?
Yeah,
Being aware of your emotions and experiencing that contrast, right? The positive and the negative. Because, like, I think that what's perceived to be a negative emotion can be transmuted into a positive
absolutely.
perspective, if that makes
And the
sense.
reverse side too. Like you could be toxic positive. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You could be like, "Oh yeah, everything's gonna be okay," and I'm calling you, you punk ass. Excuse my language. The astrologers out there that thinks things are peachy keen. No, it's not. Not all the damn time. Oh, it's gonna be okay. Yeah, you're a Scorpio moon. Yeah, but tell them the bad side too. Stop leaving that shit out, y'all. I'm tired of that. Goodness.
Yeah, I think that negating the negative feelings and energies is not helpful, right? I think you have to acknowledge and accept that they're there, but have it be an indicator of what you do want, right? Like you can use it as a tool to help get to know yourself better and shift your focus to what's wanted so you don't dwell in that negative emotion. But if you can use it as like oh, I've been feeling this, something needs to be cleared up in me because it's consistent. You know what I mean? And I also feel like, in a way, experiencing those range of emotions, besides just like being a human being, and that just comes with life and existing, feeling all those things, it also helps you connect with other people, which is a positive aspect about emotions. We're all united in that way. We all experience them. And if you don't, something's blocked.
Yeah, facts.
There's trauma with a big T, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I think that that's a good breakdown of emotions in terms of what can be negative and what could be positive. Next up is kind of similar to that, right? Because thoughts and mindset kind of provoke feelings. So next up would be kind of mindset and thoughts and what negative energy feels like there and what your take is on that.
Self-sabotage. Oh,
Mm.
when it comes to that, it's like you're talking about like negative thoughts in general.
Yeah, or just like being in your head, right? Like with the intrusive thoughts, like what's the negative aspects around like your brain and thinking?
Well, first off, people have to realize that your brain can be your biggest ally or your worst enemy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Especially when you're trying to get out of a funk or you need a motivation, your brain is going to be the first conscious thing that's going to actually speak to you like, man, you ain't gonna do that shit. That's already before someone even hears your voice, you're already got one in your head.
facts.
Like, oh, you ain't
Which
gonna do shit.
probably isn't even you. It's probably
It's
people from
not.
your past. Yeah.
Or
So
I was just
like
gonna
an
say
annoying roommate.
certain downloads aren't even yours because
Mm,
when you do certain actions that go against negativity, that's when negativity rushes in more. Like, you ain't gonna do that shit. Oh, but I am though. it's obstacles in life. So those thoughts and how you can handle it, shit, believe in yourself, honestly. Because those thoughts are gonna come around anyways. I don't know how frequently for some people, but it's inevitable. You have to have positive and negative energy. I'm sorry, it's duality. You gotta have it, you know.
Well,
So
yeah, otherwise you wouldn't be living, right? Like they're gonna
exactly.
exist. I feel like I for so long felt like I had to like push away or suppress my negative thoughts, which just made
No.
them come back stronger. You have to
Because
learn to
denying
accept that.
because denying something is not bad. Sometimes because too much of something is bad.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
balance.
So
Yeah.
having those thoughts, too many of those thoughts, because sometimes what you could be doing, even though the thought is bad, maybe you need to stop doing it. Like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't do that. Even though, let's say you suggested me to, or I suggested to you that I wanted to be an actor or some shit. In my mind, I'm like, man, you ain't finna be no motherfucking actor or whatever. But maybe I'm a terrible fucking actor. You know what I'm saying? Maybe my mom like, nah, don't do that, bro. I'm like, nah, I'm finna do it, and then I bomb on stage or whatever, or in the movie or whatever. So sometimes your mind's like, nah, nigga, you can't do that shit. Excuse my language. You can't do that shit. But sometimes negative thoughts aren't so bad. It just depends on your situation, what you're doing, and how hard you are on yourself. So
Yeah. I feel like it's asking yourself the question like, are the thoughts that you're thinking actually serving you, right? Is it something
right.
that's holding you back to do its job in protecting you, which is what the mind is designed to do, right? Is to kind of protect you. That's what that fight or flight, lower physical consciousness is. Like we're animals, if your mind is like, hey, fucking run, you know what I mean? You'll probably need to run. But I think that is it the inner saboteur just trying to keep you stuck, your ego, you know what I mean? Or is it something that's
Mm,
actually trying to warn you? But I feel like that's a difference between knowing what your intuitive voice sounds like in your head and like what anxiety and like your inner critic
yeah.
sounds like. You know what I mean? So I feel like the positive aspects for me in terms of your mind is first and foremost knowing that you are not the mind, you have a mind and you're the observer of your thoughts. You're not them and of themselves. You're not the thoughts. You're the one observing the thoughts coming into your head. And there's really no meaning or significance in them unless you attach your attention too hard to it where you're like, oh, like maybe my brain's right. But a lot of the time your brain is just playing on a feedback loop from your past.
Facts. And also, we could be both in the same situations, but have two separate thoughts about the same situation.
Perception.
Exactly. So, like, I could be having a really good time in our situation that we're observing, and you can be having bad thoughts like, this ain't even, you know what I'm saying? But it
Mm-hmm.
may not be good for you in this situation. It may be good for me or whatever. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said before, everyone's good ain't good for you. So it's all about
Mm-hmm.
perception and stuff. So, yeah,
Yeah. And if it weren't for our mind and our thoughts and being aware of our inner world like that, we wouldn't be able to communicate effectively
that
and
is
grow
true.
relationships and stuff. So I feel like that's sort of the positive around it is like, thank God your brain is working because there are people out there who get very sick, whose brains can't even do daily function. You know what I mean? There's a whole spectrum of that. So the fact that your brain, I feel like essentially is helping you move through the physical day to day and can help you create. And it's supposed to be a tool. It's not supposed to be the driver. It's supposed to be like an assistant. But I think when people are driven by their mind solely, right, you're lacking that balance where you kind of need to have the emotional and the intellectual and kind of like live somewhere in between and know what's good and what's not. You know what I mean?
Dang.
What feels good and what's not. But I think the communication aspect is really helpful because I think that you can really grow as a person when you're able to communicate your thoughts and feelings in general, which leads us to the next topic, which is relationships, which both of those things go hand in hand in relationships. But I know you got some good shit about negative shit in relationships. So give me the tea.
Well, there's multiple relationships I would say, but I guess in this sense, I'm guessing this will relate more to like couples because you can have a relationship with yourself.
You
You
can
know what I'm
speak,
saying?
yeah, you can touch on all of them if you want.
Um, well, I'm gonna just do self first
Okay.
because it starts with self.
Mm-hmm.
Having a
Period.
negative relationship with yourself is really bad because it affects people around you, right? So if it affects your heart and your mind, then you're not really gonna function correctly or how you want to, because there's no correct way to function. So and then
True.
when it comes to the couples now, this is really fickle, or I don't want to say fickle, more like a gray area, because you have to have a good relationship with yourself in order to have a good relationship with others, right? Golden rule, right? Treat others how you want to be treated.
No
So the
one.
negative side of that, it's just destruction, you know. And I'm gonna throw the astrology in there. Depending on what element you are, it may take you a little bit longer to realize that you were probably the stickler in your last relationship, the negative Nancy in your last relationship. So, if you were, probably the Earth sign, it may be. Well, I'm gonna just say Taurus in general, because Capricorn and Virgos they kind of catch on kind of quick, but Taurus is they're fixed, so they're more like a little stubborn when it comes to actually realizing the ins and outs, and also um the negative side of a broader relationship, like group, like a friend group,
Hmm.
uh depends on how you look at it. Because there's different cliques within different friend groups depending on how big your friend group is. Like, let's say it's a group of 5, you have a best friend within that friend group, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And you guys talk, you guys probably talk more than the other people, you know what I'm saying? So that could be looked as negative, like, oh, you got a favorite, we should all be cool, we should all be equal.
Mm,
That could be looked as negative, like, oh, okay, you playing favorites and shit. So your face card's ruined a little bit. So I think the negative outlook of just in relationships, just make sure you start with self, you know.
I absolutely agree with that. I think that if you can see where you feel negative within your relationship with yourself, you'll see how that translates and projects and mirrors into your
Like an
relationships.
egg.
Very much so. And it's very mirror. It gives reflection, guys. So it's like if you see that all of your family relationships, your romantic relationships, if you're like, man, fuck everybody, like everyone's fucking stupid, like da da da, I'm gonna be like, oh, so you don't like yourself. Because like all
Yeah.
you can do is focus on the negative in other people. It's probably because your inner narrative is real negative. Just saying.
Mm.
That's your
Ooh,
vibration.
ooh.
I hate to break it to you, you know what I mean? But you have to ask yourself at what point, like, am I just the negative one?
You got to check yourself.
And I feel like because the positive side of that is like if you're having fun in your relationships and it feels fulfilling and it's joyful and you're having new experiences and you just feel like a little kid like playing with your friend at the playground, like there's supposed to be a good feeling that comes from relationships. We're here to play and have a good time and explore and create, and so it's like if you're not co-creating with other people in a way that feels good to everybody, you have to kind of ask yourself what's misaligned within you that you're struggling like so much to do that, because
Are
really
you
like
stingy?
yeah, like why are you having such a hard time connecting with other people? Probably because you're disconnected with yourself, fam.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that if you're really focused on the negative aspects in your relationships of like what someone else isn't doing for you, it's probably time to beg the question of like, well, where are you not showing up for you? Like if you're demand, you know what I mean? And something I would tell a lot of like my clients in readings, because a lot of people love the love tarot readings, you know what I'm saying? So I get a lot of like, oh my God, like tell me about him. And I'm like, actually, I'm gonna tell you about you because it starts
Mm.
there. You know what I mean? So they're like, oh, he's not doing this, he's not doing that. And I'm like, okay, T. Make a list of everything you want in a partner. Okay. Doesn't matter gender, qualities, values. If you go through that list and you are not every single thing on that list, don't be looking for no relationship because you're not going to find it. If you know you're lacking here, you know you're lacking here, you know you're lacking here, you're not going to get it. Sorry. Hate to break it to you. It's
Oh.
unrealistic expectations to think, oh, you know, I want my man to go out of his way and be thoughtful and predict my feelings and emotions and know what I'm feeling. And I'm like, girl, you don't even know what you're feeling What do you mean you want him to know what you're feeling? That's crazy work. There's just no way. You're not showing up for yourself. So the reason why you're feeling like everyone else is letting you down is because you're letting.
Damn.
But the same way that that feels really horrible to maybe realize about yourself, then you can use that to cultivate a better sense of self love and a relationship with yourself. Date yourself, romanticize your life, be your best friend. Because once that's so strong, it's going to be so much easier, I feel like, to maintain relationships with other people in a way that feels positive for everybody.
Valid.
Right? Because otherwise, it's just hot mess express and you're exhausted and tired and drained and it's toxic and nobody needs that, guys. We deserve better, but it starts with us, you know? Tea,
Yeah. Facts.
very much tea. This one, I guess, kind of relates, but not really. Social media as a whole. We can talk about it in the context of dating, but I think generally speaking, I kind of have positives for it as a whole. So you can kind of speak on what the negatives, I guess, downsides are of it, and we could take it from there.
Egotistical, right? So people have fake personas
You
when
went
they
in
present
for it.
themselves. Oh, I was equipped. I was equipped. My flaming sword was out today. I was ready for it. You feel me? I'm slicing the day. So it's about the ego when it comes to social media, right? Because people play a different face. They have their own voodoo doll online. They That's not them. Or in political or law terms, they're straw man. It's not really them, right?
Yeah, it's like a mask.
Right.
Mm.
So boom, it's like it could be really, really negative because I see it all the time with rappers, a lot of entertainers, and a lot of influencers and stuff mostly, and us common folk, where it'd be like, oh yeah, I'm doing this online, and then you go over to their house, it's a one
Nothing like that. It's giving facade. It's giving fake it till you make it, but you ain't making it.
it's one bedroom, seven motherfuckers in it. It's like, ooh, but you just popped out in the Lambo 2 weeks ago. You feel me? So it's like, nah, and that's not for everyone. I actually know some influencers, and yeah, they're actually living it, but they also don't flaunt that much. So
Mm.
that does prove a point too. So don't be too flashy, y'all. The negative side of that too is like you can have the wrong eyes on you. Uh,
Mm.
you can get robbed or whatever,
I
or
never understood that. I never understood the people out there with their racks. And I'm like, you're asking to get robbed.
that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's I don't know. I would feel hollow doing that because it's like I'm trying to prove to other people I have money, but at home I'm like, damn, I ain't got no friends though. I'd rather have valuable people around me than money because then we can
Yeah.
get money together. Like, even if that person does have a luxurious life, the fact that you have to flex your bread like that's kind of weird to me.
Like, I'm
And
gonna
like,
show my vacations, right? But you don't know how much in my bank account. You don't know how I
right,
got there. You don't know if that's mine, if that was gifted to me. You don't know if that's a brand. You don't know. You don't know the how. Leave some to the imagination.
exactly. People don't like to leave the mystery of the things. Like, make people wonder how you get to certain places. And then that's how people be selling like these courses and shit, which is a scam. But I don't like doing that shit. I'd rather you see my progress from the bottom and then you see us come up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Still not gonna tell you how much money we got, but at the same time, it's like you're gonna see us at the end of the finish line and we still gonna be running. This shit don't end. So the bad thing about social media is people aren't real with themselves, so they have to fake it till they make it. So that's really negative. Social media,
Yeah.
it could be negative, but it could be positive too.
Yeah, or I even feel like people will put on that facade because they want to be accepted, right? Because there's a lot of
Yeah.
hate, there's hate culture, right? There's, being canceled, right? I think that social media, negative speaking, like has a lot of fear looped in there, which is
Oh
a
yeah.
very negative feeling. It's like constantly, like you said, ego, it's like comparison, it's like trying to prove yourself and all that jazz. But I feel like the same way, like anything, contrast and the polarity, the yin and yang exist. I feel like the same way that there's like all those aspects, there's aspects like you can learn so much. You share information, you get to share your message, you get to meet, like if it weren't for social media, I wouldn't have met you.
Yeah. True.
You know what I mean? You can cultivate relationships. You can stay in touch with people you've moved away from. You can meet people who are like-minded, who have similar interests. There's so many groups you can join that like you can meet soul family. It's just nice. There's room for inspiration and creativity and you can cultivate not only relationships with other people, but your relationship with yourself, grow in your confidence. Like social media helped me accept me and put myself out there in a time that I was feeling very insecure. And I just finally was like, you know what? Like, if I'm happy and comfortable enough to be raw and put myself out there, other people will appreciate that and maybe feel like they're safe enough to do the same thing. This,
Feel the confidence, yeah.
yeah, it's like knowing that the same way their haters gonna hate, lovers gonna love. Like you'll have
Yeah.
fans. You know what I mean? So I don't let the fear of being hated on or criticized or judged prevent you from all of the opportunity that can come from social media. Just in terms of the expression, receiving positive feedback, business, it's helped so many entrepreneurs out there create a new life for themselves. So those are the positives that I think of when I think of social media, of like what a unique and amazing tool to help the collective connect even further with one another, really. But yeah, the people who are like frauding up there,
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's gonna exist, but you just have to trust your discernment to be like, oh, that's not a bit of me. I'm gonna leave
And
out the
that's why
back.
I necessarily don't want to say social media is positive or negative. It can be used as that because, like you said,
Mhm.
it's all about perception. Because those platforms they start off as neutral because we set the boundaries of what's negative and positive. We just got to
Mhm.
add those energies to it. If we're adding positivity to social media, you know what I'm saying? That's one little percentage of the positivity we're bringing. Then there's a little bit of negative here, a little positive there. It's like it's a whole collective. So I wouldn't say it's positive or negative as a whole. I think it's just a clusterfuck. You know what I'm saying?
All the above. It's a nice little melting pot. I think it's just what you pay attention to as an individual. If you're on
True.
social media and it doesn't feel good and everything you're intaking feels negative and bad, maybe get off for a little while.
Detox.
Sometimes it's good to take a step away and reconnect with yourself. But if, you find joy and connection and opportunity there, keep keep going. Keep doing it. Because why the hell not? You know what I mean? And last but not least is manifestation and desire slash desire.
Mm. So the negative side of manifestation is being upset with the result, right? So I always say, as well as my mentor always says, you don't always get what you want or you need. You always get what you deserve, and sometimes what you can negotiate, but most of the time deserve
You get what
because
you are. Yeah, very
yeah,
much.
because it's like well, sometimes because maybe I wouldn't say all that because not necessarily what you are because you're gonna be mad at the result anyways. You know what I'm saying? Because like for example, let's say I was writing a play or something and I actually wanted to cast a play, right?
Mm.
So I'm doing my thing and it was a disaster. People showed up late. Half the audience didn't show up. We didn't have a
Yeah,
good
there are things
turnout.
outside of your control that are not really your fault.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So being upset about the manifestation, I think that's a negative because it's like this is what you asked for. Maybe the process that you put into it is what the result was. And because you could be doing everything in the world right, right? But it's the effort and the intention that fuels manifestation too. It's not always, oh man, I need that new Bentley next month. You know what I'm saying? You may get the Bentley, but maybe run down, what I'm saying, engine
You got to
smoking.
get a little more specific.
You know what I'm saying? Like, do you deserve a brand new, nice Bentley off the lot? Did you say that? You just said a Bentley. You never said this rusty one over here. So, and I can contest to that because I wanted a super sports Honda. Didn't describe the year, color, or nothing. I didn't even have the visual picture of one. I got a Honda, but it's not what I wanted, right? So it's really those things you have to be really specific about and see it spirit things you really deserve it, you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of aspects too with manifestation. People think that manifestation, like, you can't. I wanted to say this to you for a hot minute, but you can't manifest people, but you can manifest traits within people, right?
Mhm.
Because I don't think you knew I existed. I didn't know you existed, right? No, we didn't know each other existed, but we know those traits exist,
I knew the energy. I knew
right?
in spirit what I wanted, and the physical how it showed up and the fun little things I learned. That's just surprise and delight. You know what I mean?
Facts, facts, and that's the thing that we was talking about before we click record. It's like the surreal feeling when you actually see the manifestation, even the building of another manifestation. It's like, damn, this is actually working, or like, damn, this should actually work. That's crazy. Like, sometimes it's like a little shell shock, a little bit, you know. But
Yeah.
that's the negative side of manifestation, being frustrated of the result that you didn't want.
Yeah, being too attached to the outcome or the how and the when it's showing up rather than
Yeah,
just surrendering. But I feel like the positive aspect of that is knowing that you're the creator here. And for the most part, you have the ability to bring things and manifest things into fruition with the help of, you know, the greater divine, universe, source, God, spirit, whatever you want to call it. Okay. The energy that creates worlds. Okay. So there are things that are within your control and there are things that are not. But gratitude and appreciation and feeling satisfied, no matter how it looks, is the key to getting more of that, right? Like attracts like to some degree. And what you pay attention to, you kind of get more of whether you like it or not. I don't feel like spirit hears, you know, like bald. Like, I don't want to go bald. Spirit just hears bald. So if you're constantly thinking, oh, I don't want to go bald, I don't want to go bald, Spirit's like, oh, you've been thinking a lot about bald. Boop. Bye, hair. You know what I mean?
and your shit all the way up.
Yeah, like if you really fear something, it's possible that that happens just because it's in your energy so much, you're attracting it, even if it's not preferred. So I think becoming neutral about the when and the how and the what, but knowing, okay, I launched a rocket of desire. I trust in my ability to bring it into fruition with the help of my co creator spirit. You learn to enjoy the process, right, of it becoming. You can learn to have fun in the imagination cultivation stage of it being thoughts before it physically manifests. And besides, you wouldn't want to know everything that,
Right,
that happens anyway. It
exactly.
takes away some of the
I
fun of being
hate that.
surprised.
I told you that I don't like trailers of movies. I don't like spoilers or nothing because it's like it takes the enjoyment out. Like, ugh, stop. Like, I don't want this shit.
Don't spoil it, you know. And I think that like you can get a lot of clarity about who you are as a person and what you like and what you don't like. You learn to surrender. Manifestation just is a byproduct of what happens because we're creators in nature. So I feel like if you can have fun with it and not feel like, oh, I'm not good if I don't have this, or I'm lacking if I don't have this, it's like, ooh, cool. I just thought of this thing I want. Like, I'll get it. What was I doing? You know, and you go back to whatever you were doing. And then odds are, you know, many times I've been like, oh, yeah, this would be nice. And then, like, lo and behold, it just shows up in my lap because I
Mhm.
wasn't like, I need it, I need it, I need it, I need it. I'm desperate. That's why the pick me girls don't get picked, y'all. Come on. Like,
That
this is,
is true. That is true. Y'all don't be getting picked for real. It's like if y'all just, go out your day and actually build upon yourself, you're gonna be more radiant than you know.
yeah, you don't get to experience the joy of synchronicity if you're
Right.
constantly worried about what the manifestation is going to look like. It's getting rid of the fear of the unknown by trusting that it probably will work out if you believe that for yourself, you know, because I can look at something that, like you said, you perceive as negative or bad, and I could be like, that looks great. That's a cool thing. Why are you uptight? You know what I mean? So it really is like a how you decide to view it. But I think that that about covers all of that. And I know that we're low on time in terms of these topics, but unless there's any last minute collective feelings you have about negative, positive energy, babe, we'll wrap it up and we'll dive right into the astrology, celestial check in, all that good jazz.
I ain't got a thing, y'all.
Yeah, I feel like we just word vomited positive and negative aspects about everything. Another thing before I kind of roll off into our next little segment, one of the things that Abraham Hicks taught me is that if you feel like your vibration is trained very negative, do something like this, guys. Come up with topics each day and find things to appreciate and enjoy about each
Mm,
thing, because then you'll start training yourself to love and appreciate and feel more positive on a day-to-day basis. If that's not typically your vibration, you're constantly complaining or worried or pissed off about your life. Okay.
nice.
That's my wise words of advice there, because it helps me a
Mhm.
lot. And yeah, let's dive right into celestial check-in. Bye.
Word. Yo, we back with the astrology. You know what I'm saying? I have to break it down to y'all. So with this astrology, basically, currently we're in Taurus, and as of this release date, the moon will be in Scorpio. So typically that means the things that you value close to you is going to be more close to the heart. You know what I'm saying? But that's going to make you more focused and persistent too. So don't forget that. Typically people in these energies can become more satisfied with their accomplishments. So if you've already been doing the work and stuff, you can relax during this time because this time people may be too lax. You know what I'm saying? So with this energy, if you've been putting enough footwork from Aries season, now you kind of can put your shoes away and be like, oh, okay, well, I've done the handiwork, so I don't need to do shit. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, guys. Water went down the wrong pipe. I think that's also an indicator that pay attention to how you feel, because maybe you do it too much like me. All right,
Nah,
I'm good.
it didn't even pick up the call. And also Venus is going to be in Gemini too, so you want to communicate on the things that you love, which is a good segue to put things towards your businesses or any projects that you have. It's kind of like more of a passionate energy, but it's kind of like you just yapping about it though. So the Taurus energy is going to, hey, you need to walk how you walk instead of talking how you talk. You need to go ahead and do that. So um, also, these energies gonna make you a little more freaky. Um, not as freaky, but it's like it gives you the more flirtatious moods. You know what I'm saying? So,
That's some astrology right there.
and also the Mars is in Leo, so a little more confidence is gonna happen, but you could be a little too confident, overconfident. So, like, let's say you present something to somebody and it could be kind of mushy. It may look kind of mushy, right? You're like, oh yeah, this is the best project I did. But to the audience, it's like, it's all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, it ain't that fire. You feel me? But but
Yikes.com.
it could be also a good thing too. It's gonna put you in more pressuring energy to actually put the fire to your ass. You need to go ahead and get shit in gear. So, you know, all in a nutshell, very productive time, for these few days, very productive, more flirtatious, fiery energies. Um, but yeah, just experience the fruits of your labor though. And the things that you do value, don't be such a soft ass when it comes to criticism because people may see different details than you when it comes to that. So it's the shot of tea, you know what I'm saying? Make sure it don't spill over your cups.
Oh,
So yeah,
you spilled it everywhere.
my bad. Hold on. Let me damp it
Get the
down.
paper towels, guys. Yikes. That's very interesting. I think especially the part where, you know, finding where you need to light the fire under your ass, but don't have the fire so hot that you can't see clearly, you have too much smoke. You know what I mean?
Exactly. The soot, nigga, the soot.
That's a t-shirt. Oh, okay. So we're in tarot talk now. Before I kind of dive into everything, we're using a new deck today. This is the Light Seers
I ain't
Tarot.
gonna lie, that's my favorite one you showed me.
I love this one by Chris Ann. So the images are not going to look like the ones behind me, just a little FYI. Right off the bat, the page of swords flew out, and on the bottom I have the page of wands here, which is very on brand already, because the page of swords is very communication, diligence, moving forward, ideas, communication. Okay. Page of Wands is inspiration, manifestation, planning stages, excitement, right? But pay attention to the fact that pages are kind of an immature energy. So don't get ahead of yourself. Don't think you're that hot shit when you don't have the shit to match. You know what I'm saying? So already that's kind of right on brand with that. So let's see what Spirit has to say about this page energy. Because 2 pages right off the bat, it's like, okay.
Ooh, that's new beginning. Yeah, that's hey, yeah, you need a trail for
The
that.
way this just flew out onto my laptop, guys. 4 of cups. Okay. Very interesting. What's on the bottom here? 9 of cups. So
Okay.
this is very contrasting energy. The 4 of cups is very much, you know, paying too much attention to what you're lacking. And the 9 of cups is absolutely basking in everything that is abundant around you. Okay. So I think that when you're in that creative mode, maybe kind of like on brand of what our episode is today, instead of paying so much attention to the what isness of what's happening and maybe not seeing the fruits of your labors, learn to enjoy and feel the fulfillment of creating everything that you want to be creating, and that there's joy and prosperity in that, if you will. Okay, very, very important. I think that like literally, and like those cards came out for my reading right before this that Banks gave me, by the way. So like this is very collective, including me. I
Hmm.
always forget to like do it up here. So let's see if anything
Oh
else.
yeah. Oh
I'm not gonna count that one.
yeah. I usually do if it got a fall like.
What goes with this for? 9 of cups.
Oh, there we go. For my non-visual people, a car just flew out.
The lovers.
Oh, is that me and you? That guy looks like us. Hello.
Ah, ow. Okay, very interesting. There's more that goes with that because
Yeah.
I didn't know this course was going to be a love reading. Now, lovers can be your relationship with you. Oh, okay. Strength
Okay.
coming out as well. Oh, and the devil on the bottom. All
Oh,
right.
whoa.
Okay. Oh, why? Spirit's like, there's more, bitch. Hold on. Oh,
There's
the
more to the
hermit.
story. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to pull out the devil on the bottom. So, considering that the 9 of cups and that 4 of cups came out, okay, we have lover, strength, devil, and the hermit. These are like all major arcana cards. Okay, so this is big ticket energy. Okay, I feel like, and I feel like why the lovers is here in relation, it could be that the people closest to you are ones you're working on a project with. Okay, the 9 of cups is remembering that your relationship with you is the most important, that because the 10 of cups is more that family energy, and the 9 of cups is like independent, like I'm abundant within myself type of energy. So I feel like with strength and the lovers and the hermit and this devil here, it's giving like, make sure that you're in the place of trusting your own guidance, which is something that I kind of felt when you were talking to, right? It's like balancing that feminine and masculine energy within yourself with that lovers, right? Finding your inner strength to move forward, but not allowing the toxic thoughts infiltrate too much, right? It might be
Mhm.
time to like, the same way that you're like, oh, like let the energy flow and you have to move forward with that fire energy. It's also like, yeah, but you don't want to move from this place of, if I don't do it, this something bad will happen, or I need to do it because I'm lacking in this area. Like it needs to be aligned action. So ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing, and
Mm.
go into that hermit mode a little bit, reflect, make sure that you're in union with yourself and you're in agreement with you and your higher self, that like, I am strong enough to take the next step, or maybe it's not time for me yet. Maybe there's something I need to clear up. Maybe I don't know enough. Maybe there's some things I need to learn before I take action, right? You have to kind of ask yourself those self-reflecting questions, because what's going to happen is you're going to go full steam ahead, right? And you're going to start communicating your ideas and feeling all excited about it. And you're going to be like, why is no one receiving it well? Getting that bad feedback maybe from other people. And you're going to be like, what's going on? And, you know, there's a little bit of self-doubt that I feel. Oh, 2 of cups being in the middle of the deck is crazy work. And the emperor.
Oh, one of my favorite cards, by the way.
This is turning into a lovey reading, but it's interesting because I think that Two of Cups also kind of reaffirms like coming together with yourself in that way. And I feel like the Emperor is like trusting your own leadership and vision, having that inner strength within you to be like, no, like I'm confident and I can move forward. But Spirit's saying, like, this is the energy you need to feel before you proceed. Right now, a lot of y'all are in this page energy where you're just, it's great to feel excited and ready to dive in, but it's like you also have to give yourself space to receive communication and information that maybe you don't know in order to get you closer to where you want to be. It's like that same quote that I used last time. It's like don't get too far ahead of yourself type of thing. You know what I mean? Because but I think that in your astrology mentioning the energies, I think that people feel that, right? But I feel like spirit's always like, "Hey, hey, hey now. I know you're feeling this urge, but just check yourself before you,
Yeah.
really kind of dive into it because just because you're feeling ready doesn't mean you're ready, okay? Because Five of Swords here, this is mental conflict a little bit. This is feeling a little overwhelmed and indecisive. So it's like you're not even fully sure and confident about your idea before you're communicating it and you're compensating by being like, oh yeah, this is like the best idea I got. And it's like, yeah, but you're trying real hard to convince me of that. So do you really believe in it? Are you really happy with the work that you're creating? So I feel like that's why Spirit's kind of calling that hermit mode back and is like, hey, like maybe just check with yourself. Like, how do you actually feel? Do you feel strong about what you're presenting to the world? Do you feel confident in what you're communicating? Are you in alignment with yourself before you kind of speak out your ass when it's on fire?
Mm.
Just paying attention to
Woot.
that. Put the fire little thing in there. But yeah, I'm gonna shuffle this and see if there's any last closing messages. Oh, okay.
Oh,
That was
that-
Three of Cups. I'll show that in a minute. Oh, oh, and the Hangman in reverse.
okay.
Yeah, this is giving, don't be celebrating when you're still in suspension. Okay.
Yeah. That's definitely the Mars and Leo energy mixed with the Taurus and Scorpio. Because what it really is, it's like when those energies are mixed together, it's like you're too proud of your project, but it's like, damn, you ain't even finished yet, bro. Like, why are you trying to present this right now?
Yeah, I think there's a difference between feeling confident in what you're creating and feeling the excitement and the success of it, right? I think it's okay to feel proud of yourself and believe in what you're creating, but I think that there's a feeling of
You got it.
wanting others to like validate
Mm-hmm.
that when
Mm-hmm.
there's a part of you that still knows that it's not really done.
Right.
So it's like you're seeking approval for the idea because maybe you haven't gone far enough along in it. It's like you're not asking for advice, but like by presenting the idea, you're like kind of hoping someone tells you, but then you're getting mad when someone tells you.
Yeah, right. Because it's not what you want to hear. Praise me, praise me. No,
You're
dude.
like,
No.
look at this amazing thing I did. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's great. And then you're like, yeah, you said that, but I didn't like the way you said that. What do you mean? Why isn't it great?
Yeah, right, right.
And then someone's like, "Oh, well, I feel like this might be good this way, but like that's just my opinion, but like keep doing your thing." And you're like, "Well, why would you say that?" And it's like the defense, right? So it's either that energy or it's the, fuck y'all, I'm gonna go get some drinks. It's already done. I'm already a, billionaire. And it's like, yeah, but like you're radiating failure.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
It's giving very compensating. It's giving really big truck, tiny little energy.
Damn.
But yeah, that's it, I think, for tarot talk. I feel like that just about sums that. I think that's a good note to leave it on. And as per usual, now we have song of the week. Dee-dee-dee. And I'll let Banks go first. You want to give us the your songs of the week?
Yep. So I got Diamonds by Rihanna. Down
Diamonds
with the
in
Sickness by
the
Disturbed, and Mad City by Kendrick Lamar. I
sky.
haven't heard Diamonds. I probably have. Diamonds Are Forever. That song? Is that the song? Nah. That
Diamonds in the sky,
oh,
they
that's it?
shine bright. Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of
Tonight.
Alicia Keys, sorry. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that song's it's all right. I wouldn't bump it like that, but I'll listen to it. I can see how that is. You want to, glisten and glamour in your own shit. That's cool. Down with the Sickness, personal favorite song. Um, yeah, it just gives Scorpio energy for sure. Scorpio moon energy in specific.
Mm.
Uh, and Mad City, that's like one of my favorite songs personally, based on how I grew up. So I kind of relate to just Kendrick in general. But that song specifically for sure, just being frustrated and having to prove yourself in like the darkest parts of your life. So I can
Mm.
really appreciate that song specifically.
Mm. And I feel like the now hearing those songs again after this little tarot talk reading, it's like you're giving off like you're this diamond energy, but really you're still
In the rough,
feeling, yeah, you're
yeah,
still that. So it's like it's very giving portrayal, like you're trying to project what you want to be, but deep down you feel like you're not that. So it's giving facade instead of just
facts,
embracing maybe where you are and that you're learning, and you're growing, but it's like you don't want to admit that because it hurts your ego
facts.
type shit, which is very interesting. My songs of the week. Let
Oh
me get
yeah,
my let me get my notebook. Okay. Skin by Rihanna. We had a Rihanna vibe this week, okay?
yeah.
I
Shout
the
out to Rihanna,
reason
she's fine.
ugh, ugh, I'm so pissed I never saw that woman in concert. One day she'll find her way to me. We're gonna be best friends. I'm gonna do makeup on her. It's gonna be fine. But that song specifically gives very secretive nature, deep desire, like Scorpio Taurus energy in that way, where it's like, go listen to the song. I can't sing the whole thing. Okay, but you'll understand why it's like, oh, like there's a part of you that you keep into yourself, but like low key telling people, you know what I mean? Which is interesting. The other song I have is Back to Black by Amy Winehouse, which I also feel like goes with the energy of kind of like persisting through pain, with that Taurus energy, so to speak. And last but not least, I have Crazy by Doechii.
Mm. I recently been hearing about Doechii. Uh, she's very unique.
She knows about manifestation. She knows. I also recommend this song. I think it's just called God, okay? But it literally talks about how if we're in alignment with unlimited creativity and source, like we're never lacking with
Ever. That's
ever.
gold right there.
So that's a great song, but I feel like her song Crazy especially, which is one of the songs that I love blasting in my car, kind of very much channels the Scorpio energy of just emotional intensity and kind of just being
Mhm.
absolutely shameless about who you are in a way. And like I feel like being grounded in your chaos is like that Taurus influence. I feel like it's like, yeah, this is me, bitch. I'm crazy and I'm gonna embrace it. Type shit.
It's giving metal energy.
Very much so. But yeah, I think that's really it. I hope you guys enjoy this new segment, Songs of the Week. You
Yeah,
sipped on
make
your
you guys
Charlotte
check those out
tea.
too. And comment if those songs hold true to what we're saying. Because personally, we love these songs. So it's like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just interesting to see like if maybe hearing some of these songs, hearing the astrology, hearing the tarot talk, like does it actually help you guys feel seen during this energy shift, right? Is it helping you self-reflect? Do you feel understood? Like we want to know if this is actually helping y'all.
Yeah. Comment below, share, and thank you for the people that are still here. Hello.
Thanks for making it to the end. We love you guys so much.
Well, like, comment, subscribe. We're out of here, y'all.
Later,
Peace.
Gators.